So he speaks par excellence, and he has a deep study of all these subjects. I think he will mesmerize the audience by his talk on demystifying exercise. Over to Dr. N.K. Singh, please.
Respected chairpersons, although he is a very close batchmate, Dr. Pramod Kumar, Dr. Arya, Dr. Mudra. Again, I am really thankful today for the Dr. Birmani, which in COVID time, I was a bit disturbed, but he made the whole session so beautiful. I think it will be a super hit program. It was Dr. Birmani who told me that you just talk on the demystifying the exercise. Exactly, I am starting at 4:05, and exactly at 25 in 20 minutes I will stop. So I think my agenda today, you can see here, today I have got no agenda at all. This lady definitely, or I don't know, say that if you want to hide some issue, your trick is from the height. The trick is not to look down, but my agenda is at all. I would like that trick is how to look down safely. That is the agenda. So my demystifying the point number one is, you are lucky as you are hearing my talk today. Why I am talking? As today I am not going to give you any CME. It is for you, it is for me. It is just to stimulating your brain that you start exercise, and if you are doing exercise already, you do it in a very, very easy way and in a scientific way. So this is my agenda exactly today. Why I am saying that for every 1 hour of aerobic exercise you do, you add 2 hours to your lifespan. I don't know you will agree or not. And your general health improves to enhance the quality of your life. We are going to deal the amazing science of exercise, but I really wonder why do we fail to not follow this? If you go to the internet, you can get so many fun facts about the exercise. Remember here, number one is the music improves workout, your performance, workout performance by 15%. Remember, your brain performance, your memory, you burn calories, so many things I have written here. So this is the thing which is circulating. But remember that 60% of people who are going to gym are basically, they have taken some membership, they are not utilizing it. So you can do many home-based exercise, like aerobic, interval training, resistance exercise, some respiratory exercises, some flexibility, balance, mind, body, so many things are there. I am showing here one very old picture of an old gym. And we will deal here today the mode of exercise, the intensity of exercise, duration of exercise, frequency of exercise, and rate of progression. So point number one today, again, I always love to show this slide, that exercise is the billion-dollar drug that never gets prescribed. You start from your brain, cathepsin B, secretion from the skeletal muscle, by exercise, improving your memory, to preventing the injury associated with loss of BDNF and increase osteocalcin secretion from bone, increasing all IL-6 secretion from skeletal muscles to improve the metabolism. And so the increased IL-6 and the adrenaline secretion, you reduce tumor growth, biomobilization, and redistribution of NK cells. So many things are there. But here where you stand, see here, your mitochondrial autophagy. If you are sedentary, you can see here, if you are a sedentary, let me pointer option of laser pointer here. Yeah, if you are sedentary, you can see here the gradient difference in mitochondrial color from green to yellow to red. Healthy, green is healthy, red is stressed, and red is damage of dysfunctional mitochondria. So if you are a tall sedentary here, and if you are doing exercise, lots of things you can see here, just you're seeing the mitochondria. So the mitochondrial reticulum in the sedentary muscle activates energetic oxidative stress in some regions. And long-term exercise you do or acute exercise, it improves the mitochondrial quality. तो समझदार को इशारा काफी है, इतना ही बताना है यहाँ पे. So if these molecular mechanisms get imprinted on your brain, it acts as a motivational force to do regular exercise. Remember, even if what is good with the exercise, that even if the muscles are insulin resistant, which is the case in a type 2 diabetic, at rest, that becomes irrelevant with the exercise. And what is the reason of that? The reason is, I will say here, sorry, I think reason is here that, see here, that insulin is not required for glucose to enter into cell when you exercise. And a form of non-insulin dependent glucose uptake, remember this term, the CMGU, contraction mediated uptake occurs when you exercise. So essentially muscle contraction allows glucose to enter the cell. What is known is that this pathway is not affected by people with type 2 diabetes. So CMGU continues for several hours post-exercise. So you can see here again, the lots of things happening when you are doing an acute exercise or adaptations with the chronic exercise. Ultimately leading to what? Whole body level, if you see, aerobic capacity is increasing, insulin sensitivity is increasing, glucose control is increasing, oxidative capacity is increasing, your health is by so improving by decreasing insulin resistance, decrease in type 2 diabetes incidence, NAFLD, increasing CV disease, metabolic syndrome, obesity, and mortality. So lots of things are happening when you are doing the exercise. And this I took from my chapter from the Medicine Update, where we showed that so many genes are involved. I'm not going details of all these things, but ultimately so many things are happening at the molecular level, at the genetic level, where you can do by the exercise. So I showed you this one. Now this is a very recent research published in the Diabetologia, and see here, both aerobic and resistant exercise acutely enhance the insulin sensitivity 20%. Either you do training regimens further increases the insulin sensitivity more than 40%, and even improving the HbA1c levels by 0.4 to 0.5%. But if you combine the aerobic and resistance exercise, you can see here that improves the insulin sensitivity 70%. And lower the HbA1c levels 0.9%, mind-boggling. So you can see here how this is happening, that exercise-induced improvement in the insulin sensitivity. And if you're not doing exercise in diabetics, you are missing everything in the game. And if you go for the today, fatty liver is a big challenge in our society. You can see here what are the benefits of exercise in FLAD. I'm not going to explaining all these things, but when you go for the weight loss, NAS resolution, fibrosis regression, steatosis improvement, or percentage achieving the well-being, everything, it improves everything here. So remember that exercising your fat into shape, this is a muscle-centric view you can take, and very recently in the Diabetologia, all these appeared. So my point is that you are able today by exercise to change your white adipose tissue to a brown adipose tissue, which is very, very important for your well-being. And even lots of research is going on the irisin. I have showed many times, I'm not going details here. Now, sometimes some people ask, what to do if there is so much of the air pollution is associated? How to go and how to do the exercise? Just this month, I think this month itself, a paper has been published that habitual exercise is associated with reduced risk of diabetes regardless of air pollution. And this came from a longitudinal cohort exercise study. So this is a very, very important message again coming here. So if you want to talk to all the cells of your body, you go for exercise, बात निकलेगी तो दूर तलक जाएगी. यानी जब एक्सरसाइज करेंगे तो दूर तलक आपके शरीर में वो जाकर they will give you the molecular factors are likely to contribute all the health benefits like increase in muscle mass, reduce this triacyl glycerolemia and improved insulin sensitivity and glucose control. There is no doubt about it. What happens when you are doing a regular exercise or irregular exercise? See here. Again, a very recent research. Both regular and irregular training groups displayed significant improvements in the anthropometric characteristic aerobic capacity and some blood levels. Thus, the current study suggests that performing regular training when possible, however, even if you do a regular training, that could also offer lesser benefit and should still be considered by the time for individuals or those unable to perform training regularly. So again, this again a very important message is coming up. In COVID era, if you are doing exercise, your stimulates the interchange of innate immune system cells and components between the lymphoid tissue and the blood compartments. So, although it transient, a summation effect occurs over time with improved immunosurveillance against pathogens and cancer cells and decreased systemic inflammation. So, in one way, it can give you immunity. And when you do exercise, billions of lymphocytes are mobilized in response to just a single bout of exercise. Remember, I am showing you the single bout of exercise, particularly if the exercise is dynamic and taxes the cardiorespiratory system, running, cycling, or rowing. So it happens. And ultimately, there is tissue migration of the lymphocytes, and their phenotype signatures indicate they are primed and looking for a fight to recognize and kill the virus-infected cell also. Lots of research in the COVID era is being done, and it has been proved beyond doubt now. But there are some chances that not all diabetics respond to metabolic effects of exercise. So sometimes in 15 to 20% of diabetics, this is a gray zone at present. I'm not going into details, but the new research has shown that muscle-specific this microRNA play a role in the skeletal muscles with your response to exercise. So it sometimes we have to go for the personalized medicine in exercise too. Now demystifying the types of exercise. There are lots of confusion. I will just show this very important slide from the Diabetologia again, last year published. Adaptation to different training types. Aerobic training enhances cardiovascular function and promotes skeletal muscle mitochondrial biogenesis, thereby improving exercise endurance. Now, if you are doing a resistance gym type of training that promotes skeletal muscle hypertrophy, increases strength, allowing for more powerful contractions, fueled by glycolysis and supported by higher lactate dehydrogenase content. But if you combine both aerobics and resistance training, that improves endurance, strength, power, and to a lesser extent than individual forms of training. So remember, all training types improve the skeletal muscle glucose transport and glycogen synthesis capacity, expanding glycogen stores and improving glycemic control. So I just told you that how it is important to include both, remember, the aerobics training and the resistance training. And lots of research is clear-cut showing that resistance training is more effective in improving this GLUT4 number and function. So this transport can be improved. So both are very, very important. There are lots of things are there. This is from the European Society of Cardiology, where which one is much better. There's no time to details, but remember, even the high heat, the high intensity interval training has been found very, very effective. So you know what is the high heat. If you are not knowing, go search about the heat, and it is also very important. Even the sprint interval training If you do for a short time, it improves your cardiometabolic health. And a very important, again, last year came in the diabetologia, the beneficial effect of continuous aerobic exercise. You can see the blue line, and the HIIT, if you are doing only HIIT for 3 minutes, only 3 minutes per day, that confers superior glycemic improvement as compared with the continuous moderate intensity training. So again, it is a new information to you, which is very important. अब है कि सीटिंग, सामने बैठे रहो, दिल को करार आएगा, ये जमाना मत कीजिए. Rather, you go for the interrupted sitting, and this has been shown that everybody knows that this is also a very important intervention. So you should not sit for prolonged periods. I'm not going details for that. This is a very again important message. In the same way, include some daily movements like household tasks, dog walking, gardening. These things are very, very important and give you a boost your energy. So walking with the dog is again a very important. And remember, there are numerous studies today which has confirmed that dog owners are more physically active, like me, than those without dogs. But also that not all pet dogs are walked regularly. So this is the new dog. Now the demystifying, which one is important, intensity or duration? Current research clearly says that intensity is more important than the duration. Remember, intensity is more important than the duration. What about this yoga, demystifying yoga? This is again upregulation of insulin receptor can be done by this. And if you can do nothing, you just follow the 6th round of Surya Namaskara with the mantra like this.
Dr. Nagendra,
Yeah.
Please summarize.
Yeah, I've got 5 minutes more, Pramod. Just I started at 4:05, 4:25 I will end.
Okay, just summarize.
So there is no harm. Now, so the yoga is for adults with type 2 diabetes. Now, demystifying exercise, whether evidence indicate that a positive relationship between physical fitness and sexual health. The conclusion is that higher cardiovascular exercise levels in physically active adults are inversely associated with erectile dysfunction by self-reported in men and protective against female sexual dysfunction also. So exercise has also got a positive effect on the sex drive too. But I will say that can you tell about this? Increasing sex drive can be one goal of an exercise program, but it would be wise to incorporate additional goals. That is very, very important. I'm not showing this how this marathon started, but the duration is very, very important. How much and with which intensity exercise should be done. Again, advice to walk after meals or afternoon exercise is better. There are lots of research showing that even the afternoon exercise, it could be much better, and there are lots of reasons given for that. This is lead to the circadian rhythm of the oxidative metabolism. In the same way, advice to walk after meals, it can improve. So what to do in the pregnancy? This is again very important thing, that exercise is associated with physiological and anatomical changes, grossly affecting virtually every organ and tissue. Lastly, demystifying the art of exercise. Why you don't, by knowing all those things, you are not doing a regular exercise, because you say your patient that whatever movement you can do, you are going to do, it is not for the long term. You can help you to feel better now itself now. So you change your prescription to this. I think I am just ending the last slide. शुरू में सब यही चाहते हैं कि सब कुछ शुरू से शुरू हो, लेकिन अंत तक पहुंचते पहुंचते हिम्मत हार जाते हैं. हमें कोई दिलचस्पी नहीं रहती, यह सब कैसे समाप्त होता है. और इतनी धूमधाम से शुरू हुआ था हमारे चाहने पर. मैंने अक्सर इस उज्जुल दुनिया को 10 सिरों से सोचने और 30 हाथों से पाने की कोशिश अपने लिए बेहद मुश्किल बना लिया है. इस पथ पे जो चलते हैं और जिसको एक्सरसाइज का मिल गया है स्वाद, जिसने इस पथ पे चला उन्हें स्नेह मिला. बस धन्यवाद. थैंक यू वेरी मच. आई विल एंड हियर. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Dr. Nagendra. Your talk was very brilliant. And I think Dr. R.R. Verma will like to point some things about the talk.
Yes, already Dr. N.K. Singh has rightly said, exercise is one of the best treatment for diabetes and many other diseases also, not only diabetes, but there is no doubt exercise must be done by every diabetic. Here we are talking about diabetes, so that is a must. Now, should we start the second session or?
Yes, sir, one query to Dr. N.K. Singh.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
Yeah. You
Dr.
can
N.K.
ask.
Singh, sir, very stimulating talk. इतना स्टिमुलेटिंग था, लग रहा था कि अभी स्पोर्ट्स शू पहन के निकले, but can't because of lockdown. I have got one small query. Is there any data to show which is more beneficial, exercising alone or in groups?
I'm not aware about that, but suppose if he gives you the mental boost, you can do much better in the groups. So I've not come across any such data, but I will look for that. But I think that apart from you can become bored if you do in alone. So in the groups, it might be much better for the duration and for to sustain the exercise program. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
One
Dr. N.K. Singh,
Yeah, sir.
I would like question one, whether exercise is beneficial for recently COVID recovered patient.
Well, this is very important question. Exercise is very essential, but it should be graded. It should be assessed ki how much exercise he or she can do. So rather we start with the yoga, that will be much better. We can do pranayama, that will be much better. Some respiratory exercises, and slowly as the patient improves, you must go for further boosting of the immunity, and that can be done by graded increasing the level of the exercise, even some aerobic exercise and some resistance exercise. So this has been shown in some research very recently.
Sometimes we have seen that during exercise or after doing some work, a COVID patient suddenly dies.
Actually, I told you that it must be very much assessed,
for COVID,
first analyzed, and then you can advise for the how much exercise. So I started with the yogasana, that will be much better, and then you slowly boost up the stamina, and then you increase the intensity of the exercise or duration of the exercise.
it has been very aptly described by NK, and I was just going to tell you that don't ask your patient post-COVID just to go for exercise immediately after he's so-called well. I've seen a very senior veterinary doctor, very important, dying after being active for 2 days only, so-called post-recovery. So rightly pointed out by Dr. NK that your doctor has to assess it. And then you have to go gradual for the respiratory rehabilitation. And then only you can go for exercise, starting with pranayam and yoga too, not like the new yoga teacher, but of the Munger yoga teacher, which is slow and rhythmic. That has to be done, and then following that you can go. And then one more query, not query actually, comment. Some of our very good friends said that so all diabetics should do exercise. No, sir. Everybody, irrespective of diabetes or hypertension or whatever it is, everybody should exercise, do exercise. And if incidentally